All right, here we go, people. So this is fresh off the press here. This is the latest console dev update for October 2020. And apparently this is just on the website. It's going to be posted on social media soon. So just posted today as of October 14th, 2020. And I'm just going to read it here live so we can see what PUBG is saying. Usually I make a video with some of this stuff, but if we could do it live, then maybe I can post it on YouTube after. We'll kind of work out. So it says, hello, survivors. Welcome back to another dev update from the console dev team. Some of you may have noticed that there was no dev update for September. We had some last minute but very important updates on performance issues and bots recently. So we wanted to squeeze these into this dev update as well. Let's discover what these updates are. So here we have client performance. So I'm guessing this is probably for PC because that's usually what they say client for, but it could just mean game in general. So they said we've been seeing reports of severe freezing in early matches, hitching, where the game becomes unresponsive for a few seconds. Additionally, many of you have been telling us that loading has been super slow on Karkin. Yesterday, I saw a ton of people not load in on Karkin. It was insane. It was like half the server, to a point where you load in towards the end of the plane path. After some investigation, we found that these issues were side effects of some recent optimization work. As we've covered in our past dev updates, we're always striving to save memory, as the lack of available memory is the usual culprit of game crashes. In order to shave down on memory use, we made changes so that assets are loaded in at one time, since loading too many things at once can be too taxing on memory. While this change did help save memory, it caused freezing and loading issues to occur when on the plane. With update 8.3, we reverted these changes, but our data showed that these reverts did not result in much of the change for some of you. Okay? We are also aware of serious hitches that started to pop up with update 8.3. This hitching issue was escalated to our engineers as a high priority task. And we found out that these hitches, let me increase the size here, were mainly being caused by how bots were using animations. Interesting. For the loading issue, our data also showed that loading speeds worsened for maps other than Karkin as well. So we're running lots of tests to make sure loading times really do improve with the next patch. And for hitches, we're not only testing our fixes will actually work, but we're testing whether there are other immediate fixes we have to make. Given how much of an impact these issues have on gameplay, we would have liked to bring these fixes through a hotfix, but in order to secure enough time to validate our fixes, we'll be pushing through these fixes with our next major update coming this month. Okay, so they're just saying that they're trying to spend more time on fixing this stuff, and then it's their highest priority, so it's good to know. And then the central North American server, so this is big for everybody in the US. Around early September, we were seeing pretty severe instances of stuttering, packet loss, and freezing in North America. To resolve this, we quickly switched our server provider once the reports started coming in. However, the new service provider doesn't have servers located in central NA. This has resulted in improved stability for many, but worse network conditions, for players in certain parts of NA. Wow. So they changed service providers, but it's not actually located in central NA. Yeah, that's right. I think it's on the East Coast in Virginia, right? In order to make this network condition more fair throughout the entire continent, we'll be looking into using another provider. However, this isn't as simple as picking a service provider that has services in central NA. Each service provider is hooked up to all the ISPs in a different way. This means that even through a server provider might have service in central NA, even players that are physically very close to the servers might suffer from suboptimal network conditions depending on how these servers are routed to the ISPs. So they're saying is different servers have different connections with different internet companies. So even if they put one in Texas, which is the center of the US, it still might not fix all the problems. That's just what they're saying here. It's more just, there's so many things that are complicated behind the scenes. And then it says, therefore, we'll be trying out different server providers in NA, Obviously, with the aforementioned server issues, we'll need to be more mindful of things like server stability as well, but our most important goal is to provide server performance that is more evenly spread from the West to East Coast. So, okay, they're aware of this stuff, and they're trying to make it balance on West and East Coast. Right now, obviously, East Coast people are having a better experience, and West Coast people are suffering a little bit more, but obviously, they're trying to fix it. All in all, picking out a server provider is no easy task, but we know how important this is for our NA community, and we'll keep you updated on any changes. Here we go. Then we got anti-cheat. We're going to continue here with radar hacks taken down recently, which was amazing. Our sites are now set on unauthorized input devices. Here we go. This includes keyboard and mice that we've never announced official support for, and unauthorized controller accessories. We're looking at you, controller cheaters. Blocking unauthorized devices has proven to be challenging, as it is difficult to detect these devices from not only the client level, but the console device level as well. Unfortunately, it's very hard to detect these, and this isn't just a PUBG problem. This is a console problem, an Xbox problem. And same thing for PlayStation. This is an industry-wide challenge, but the console dev team and anti-cheat team have begun working together to research and develop a method to start weeding out these unauthorized devices. That's awesome, and I'm hoping they're contacting Xbox and PlayStation as well. And if we have any impact updated to share in this area, we'll be sure to do so. And then finally here we have bots. So it said when we introduced bots with update 7.1, our goal was to not only improve matchmaking conditions, but to provide an additional avenue for our players to hone their skills. After collecting and analyzing data, in addition to reviewing community feedback for bot matchmaking, we are now ready to roll out some experimental changes. Starting at the times below, we will be making changes to the ratio of bots in normal matches for higher MMR group matchmaking. Basically, the way matchmaking currently works with bots is that once enough players have convened, a gameable session will start. The session will wait a few minutes until the designated number of players fill up. If the session fails to fill up, the rest will be bots. Now, with the ratio change, if matchmaking conditions are healthy and the match is able to fill up with all humans, no bots will be added to the session. So this is what people were asking for a long time. Basically, what they're saying here is if you're playing on a Friday night and you have a satisfactory MMR, which is your hidden rating. So if you're a decent player playing on a Friday night and there's a million people on, you will be in a match with no bots. And this is what people have been asking for a really long time. This is huge because there's some times, especially on console, where there's so many people playing, there doesn't need to be bots. But PUBG added in a thing where there always had to be like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever the number was, bots. So now this is huge news. This is great. But obviously, they probably want new players. If you're brand new into the game and you're terrible, they want you to play against bots so that you don't get discouraged and you can actually practice. And I personally, everyone was going to have different opinions on this. I personally really agree with that because PUBG is a very difficult game. And I should have said yes to this earlier, but I think this is the way to go personally. I mean, that's a topic for a whole other video. So is this change happening here? I'm not sure what this date is for. And then we'll be monitoring closely to see how this affects our matchmaking landscape. If we see that this change doesn't affect matchmaking negatively, we're going to keep it. Obviously, if it does problems here, they said they're going to revert back. If matchmaking suffers greatly due to the decision, we may have to revert the change. This has been a long time request, so we're looking forward to your feedback. See you on the Battlegrounds. And this is June, who is the console lead project manager. Yeah. So this is not the patch notes, people. This is just a dev letter that PUBG just put out. This is brand new, hot off the press. And there are patch notes for the new update, which I'm going to make a video on my channel later. So if you're watching this on the stream, look out for it on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link that video down below. So there we go. So we went over the whole patch notes and not patch notes, excuse me, the whole dev letter. And I like what I've seen here. So they're just letting people know that they're aware of the issues. They're trying to fix a server, but it's not as easy as it sounds. And they are officially working on the unauthorized controller devices, but this is an extremely difficult thing to fix. And the bot change is probably the best news in this section, in this post. I mean, this is all good news because they're telling you, we're aware of everything, but this is an actual change that's coming in, which is really nice.